let's say you quite did not understand still all this graphical thing. Well, something else that you can do is just do it by points. So I still have the function itself. We still need to know what it looks like. So we know that this is an absolute value, so it's V-shaped. So it looks something like this. But I quite can't do it visually. It's too messy for me. So something else that you can do is you can try to label all these 3 points. So this point is just going to be -1, 1. This one's going to be 0, 0, and this is going to be 1, 1. Okay, so those are the 3 key points that I do know. Now, one other thing that you do need to know is this thing. So this +1, what it's going to do is moving in the x direction. Remember that this is always opposite, so the x values, so I'm going to write x values. What you're going to do, you're going to subtract by 1. So that's the first thing. So the thing in blue, I'm going to subtract x values by 1. So I'm going to subtract this. So every x value, I'm going to subtract by 1. So I'm going to be -1 minus 1. Okay, then it's going to be 0 minus 1. And then I'm going to have 1 minus 1. Okay, whoops. All right, so now I'm here. My x values are all, my y values are going to be all the same. So this is all the same. All right, so this is going to give me what? This is going to give me -2, 1. This is going to give me -1, 0. It's going to give me 0, 1. Okay, so these are my new values. So that's what happened with the blue. The blue, I subtract everything by 1. Okay, now this thing, I'm going to write it in red. This -3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply y values by -3. So I'm going to multiply it. So you can understand that that just means multiply. Right, so all my y values, which are these numbers, I'm going to multiply them by 3. So what I'm going to get is 3 same different points. The x values are going to be the same. This is still -2, 1, and 0. When I multiply that by -3, 1 times -3 is just 1 times -3. Whoops, is going to be -3. 0 times -3 is going to be 0. 1 times -3 is going to be -3. Okay, so that concludes the first, that one. Okay, now this -2, which I'm going to label it with, I don't know, this one. This -2, I'm going to subtract the y values by -2. So every single y value, I'm going to subtract it by -2. So I'm going to write subtract y's values by 2. All right, so I'm going to take this -2, this -2, and this -2. So my new points are going to be the following. So I'm going to have -2, nothing happened to that, still 1, and this is still 0. Okay, and -3 minus 2 is going to give me -5. 0 minus 2 is going to give me -2. -3 minus 2 is going to give me -5. Okay, so this is less visual and more number-like. So this is mainly me doing it by using the 3 key points. The only thing that you need to know is that what is the thing that's affecting the x and what is affecting the y's. So now let's just graph these points. So the points here is going to be -2, -5. So here's -1, here's -2, and then here's 0. So -2, -5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So I'm going to write -2, -5 here. Then 1, oh, I forgot the negative, so this should be my minus also. Okay, -1, -2. So here's -1, -2. So keep track of that. I made a mistake, right? 0 minus 1 is actually -1. Right, so I goofed. Okay, and now the last one, 0, -5. So here's 0, and here's -5. Okay, so now here is my graph. Okay, and notice that this graph is exactly the same graph as the one that we had before. The domain is still -infinity to +infinity. My range is still from -infinity to -2. Okay, so that was basically it. That's just how you graph all of these. So these are 2 different ways in which you can try to find this problem. I don't care which way. If you have a different way, you can go ahead and let me know. And we'll continue doing a couple of these on Monday.